Welcome to the Callback Countdown podcast. I'm Joseph Maxwell. I'm currently producing a musical that I wrote, which is crazy. And I wanted to share the story of how it came to be. So I'm going back through my whole life and pinpointing the people, places, and moments that led directly or indirectly to this. Today I'm joined by Connor Hann. Connor and I met in fifth grade when I moved from Hawaii to Ohio, became friends very quickly, and I'm so grateful to have Connor as a friend. Up till this day, we are still, we live close by, and it's really great. I'm just so happy to have your friendship, and you knew me, for a long time, so you can uh, talk about a lot of things, but one of the big things specifically that I want to touch on today is destination imagination. Pretty big part of our childhoods,
Oh, yes.
and definitely a big part of my my journey to creative. I guess I mean that like kind of was the first time I did like plays. I never did plays or acting, but I did DI. So that was a pretty formative thing. But beyond that, like we were also really just friends and did a lot of fun stuff together. And the first thing I want to talk about is this is not the first time we've done a podcast. We way back in I don't even know, like 11th grade, we tried to make a podcast one time. Do
We
you remember
did.
anything from that that podcast or those days?
No, but this is definitely better. We've improved.
Already better, already
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Um, no, that was fun. I remember one of the sessions being my mom's PT Cruiser, right? We
Yeah,
drove
we
around.
spent a lot of time in that PT
Yes.
Cruiser listening to the Mighty Mighty Boss tones.
Yes, exactly. No, yeah, that was a great time. And I mean, since a young age of us being friends, um, you've always been creative and trying new things. So um, it's funny when you were mentioning Destination Imagination. I always never really saw myself on stage, but I guess I
hmm
did do
You were.
Destination Imagination that was on
Yes.
stage. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
so that's
different
fun.
environment than like a theater, that sort of thing. But yeah, so
Exactly.
talking about Destination Imagination, well, so how did you get started? Because you started that like super young, right? So
Mhm.
actually, first, what is Destination Imagination for those who might not know?
Yeah, great question. Um, and if I ever slip in and say DI,
Yeah,
we called it DI a lot as well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, how to describe Destination Imagination?
It's really hard to
Um,
describe. I have
it
not been able
is.
to like come up with a quick way to explain this weird contest that like random
Right,
school kids would have.
right. It is. There were categories of this competition, if you will, and they changed every year. Some had more structural based um, components, like building something that held weight, like a bridge.
hmm
More engineering focused was that category.
hmm
But then you would create like a skit. Play seems like too serious. It was more of a skit.
Yeah,
Um, Talking about something, and sometimes the category gave you a little bit of a idea, I guess, of what it was supposed to be. But I never remember us thinking of our skits plot in regards to a category necessarily.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, you would create like the backdrop. It was a lot of stage. If you weren't
yeah,
ever on a physical stage, like you would compete in like a library or a
yeah.
gym,
Right.
or and then there was a component called instant challenge
Oh yeah.
where you didn't know anything.
Just improv.
Yeah, teaching people life skills too, because when you came in, there'd be typically things on tables, and you weren't able to touch them until like you started. And so
hmm
now, going into adulthood or just life, I never like if I'm signing in for something, I never like touch anything until they tell me to
You
grab
could be
them.
disqualified from whatever you're doing.
You could, exactly. Um, Yeah, so I started really young. My brother did it first,
hmm
as part of the story of my life, kind of following things my brother started.
Yeah.
And he did it as well, just as long. Um, but I think he did it 1 year before me, and then I started. And I was trying to think of dates before, but it must have been in middle school. No, even
It was
before.
earlier than middle school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
intermediate school in our school system, like
Yes.
4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe did I do it in third grade?
I feel like you even did it in like younger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like before I met you, I feel like you had already done DI.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks. Because I remember being a kid that, you don't learn like the embarrassing to be embarrassed yet.
Right, right,
I
right.
was definitely at that stage.
Yeah. I
Um,
want to get back to that. I don't know how to
yes.
do that.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be nice?
But so yeah, how was it working on your first team as kind of more of a little kid? Like what was that experience like?
Well, it was great, and I feel like we were chasing that experience the rest of my DI. Only
Yeah.
saying there was levels, so there's like a regional, then a state level, and then a national or international level.
Yeah.
Um, and in that first year that I competed on my own team, maybe that was my second year. Um, we went all the way to like the national, international level. And it was very much more improv. Improv. The skit was more improv, and like we would get topics
Hmm.
each competition. But yeah, we made it all the way to. We went to the University of Tennessee, is where it was held.
Yeah.
So that's my first college experience. No, but like, I remember seeing dorms, and I always think back to it too. Of like, how did
Wow.
my little brain kind of equate that experience right before you even knew
Yeah.
what college was?
Must have been like formative in some way to like have that.
Yes,
That's your first idea of what it means to like go to college, probably.
yeah. I remember like there being graffiti around that I probably shouldn't have seen as a young child.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. I think our plot there was something about the Incas.
Nice. Class. I'm sure that holds up. I'm sure it
Yeah,
holds up whatever
right,
it was.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was culturally sensitive.
That's good.
But yeah, it was it was a ton of fun. And um, plenty of people that Spencer Wittenmeyer, if we
Hmm.
can share
Yeah,
names.
name drop, name drop.
Yeah, redact. No, he was with me the entire time too,
Hmm.
from the beginning. Yeah, he was in that first one, I think. Um, which is crazy to see him for our high school reunion. We saw him, and it was easy to catch up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I was with some really good friends. It was a great way to like build friendship during that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. That's yeah, so that was I was also not I think we were I because I did DI in sixth grade, I think.
Okay.
Which I feel like I don't know if we overlapped. I was on a totally different team with the most random like if it was like let's see if I can name everybody. Me, Sam Brunson, Chris Gajewski, Alec Lockhart, Bill Kale, Mac Miller. It was like the most random collection of like if you know kids
Yeah.
from our high school, it's like why were
Right.
all of those people together? And Sam Dutton also, Sam
Oh,
Dutton.
okay.
Like
Nice.
why were all of those people together on a DI team? Like it made no sense. We were from different social classes, like every
Yeah. Right.
all the different but it was really fun. We never had much success on that team. We tried very hard, but we yeah, that was pretty fun though. We did like a thing about we were like there was a jellyfish, I think, in Australia. I don't remember this. We did not do well, and I'm really glad that that footage does not or I can't
Mm.
find it anywhere.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about this. I'm sure my mom has footages of all the years. Let's see if they have them. If
Yeah.
you can, but also a blast from the past to watch
That
this.
would be kind of fun, just for yeah, just to see. But so we both had those, but then we finally got to be on the same team in high school,
We did.
um, which was really fun. And like looking back, it's crazy how hard we worked on that. Like it was like we were practicing so much and like going to going to the Cameron's house like every day. I feel like it was so much.
Yeah,
Um, but what do you remember about starting on that team in high school?
it was great. I mean, it was a combination of like everyone that was important to me, or like like Spencer
Hmm.
Whittenmeyer was with me. The year before was another one where it was like Spencer and I, and then no one else from the team prior, and so we had um, people that again we wouldn't have never really hung out with, but
Yeah.
we had a team, and it wasn't the best year, and so
Hmm.
then to come and then you and I were good friends outside of it, and so to join up and then because we went directly with my brother and CJ, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it
and
was just the five
Spencer.
of us, right?
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carl Cameron.
Carl Cameron. Yeah. What
Like,
a great coach.
yeah, what
But
a
I think that DI was like the most inside jokes I've ever had in my whole life.
yes.
Like from that team, it was just like we can call back so many.
Yes, I mean so many inside jokes. Yeah, like you said, that we can pull out of the hat no matter
Yeah. Do you remember that one time when Mr. Cameron like his thumb like really hurt and he was like grabbing it and we were cracking up so much and he was in so much pain. It was the
Yeah.
funniest thing ever.
Oh, yes. And we were less rambunctious than some of the other teams that Carl had done.
Yeah, yeah.
But because there's even inside jokes that I think you and I carry
Right.
from teams that we weren't on, but were with that group before.
I still say I just want wings. I still say that,
Yes,
which is an inside joke, like a generational, like the from past. Like we were not even there for that, and we still carry it to this day.
exactly. I mean, we probably, if we explained it to people that were actually there, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that did happen." But you and I say, "I just
Right.
want wings." Way more
Yeah.
from
It's
that.
it's the
Yeah.
best. Oh man, I miss having those inside jokes. I feel like I don't know, it's different once you get past like school when you're just like in the world. It's either you have coworkers or you have people like, your friends and stuff, but you don't have that same like we're seeing each other every day and working on something and like kind of by necessity we develop this uh rapport and these things that we call like it's just it was so fun.
It's true.
What else we got? I remember uh Mr. Cameron said Spencer gave you a brain, use it. You
Oh
remember that one?
yes.
Instead of he messed up instead of saying God gave you a
Uh,
brain, he said Spencer gave you a brain. Hilarious.
That's all right. I remember Spencer, him and I think his mother helped, but they made like we had a sloth bear themed
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and he just said he brought whatever they made, like the hat, and he's
Yeah.
how legit is this hat?
Yes. How legit is this hat? Will stick in my memory forever.
Yeah, because he
Um
was so proud, and it was just one of those moments of like, I can't even picture the hat, but I know it did not need that amount of intro.
no, it looked like kind of silly. It was just but he just put like yeah.
Yeah.
And Yee Yee, I'm a peacock. Yee Yee, of course.
Yes, that was great. A lot of these, well, that one, I know Carl, ended up loving, but
Yeah.
a lot of the inside jokes involve our coach being frustrated at us.
I think that added like it made it so much more funny to us. I think that he was like not he was
Right.
always a good sport though. Like he was always,
Yeah,
he cared a lot about us.
definitely.
But yeah, oh boy, so much fun.
Oh, I remember, was it our last year? We were toys. Maybe it wasn't our last year, but remember we were toys and um Derek's character was like a spy, I think. My brother.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
he had a
Yeah.
phone and he was supposed to say it wasn't water.
Yes. Yeah.
He
But
messed up.
I have the
Do
script right
you?
here.
Nice.
Yes. That's it's not showing up, but yeah, I will always remember that. The line this I'll read what the line was supposed to be. He's a
Yeah.
secret agent. He said, "Don't worry, I've got my satellite phone. We'll get rescued." What? It's not working. It's fireproof, it's bulletproof, but I guess it's not waterproof. That's like the original line.
Yeah. But he said it's waterproof. And so then he said, but it's not shark proof. And he
And he
threw
just
it. down, I think. It's
Yeah,
just
it was a
it's
great
so funny.
improv moment.
It was. Um, and he was doing he was doing like plays, school plays,
Yeah,
and everything like that. So,
yeah,
because I
I
think,
did.
go ahead.
I do definitely want to talk about because I have a lot of memories of going to see Derek in plays and stuff. And some of those like stick with me, whether it was things that we saw him do or other things that like he was in or his friends were involved in. So what was that like kind of growing up with a very theatrical actor in the family?
It was great. Um, yeah, it was great. I mean, he went on to do a lot of things, but then being able to do Destination Imagination with him,
Hmm.
um, making those kind of breakthroughs in the moment here, but to be able to share the stage, quote unquote, with him
Yeah.
uh, was a lot of fun. But he definitely acting was definitely the right choice for him at that time,
Hmm.
and if he chooses to do any in the future, because it really matched his energy and his voice, and he could channel energy that way too. And I weirdly waited until he graduated high school, but then I started doing stage crew at our
Hmm.
school, so I did like the behind the scenes things, making the stages moving props around during plays. Um, so yeah, like I mentioned before, Derek did Destination Imagination first, and then I joined, and so definitely our love of theater, like film, comes
Mm,
from
yeah.
there. Yeah, we're only a year, almost 2 years apart. We're like 2 weeks away from being 2 years apart, so we're really close in age. Um, so yeah, I mean, his musical tastes, they're his music tastes. I've listened to all of the things that he's done there. I've watched a lot of his plays, like you said. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's really cool. I remembered well I have one I don't know even know if Derek was in uh this play, but I remember seeing the Diary of Anne Frank. I think it was was it Brian, one of Derek's friends. I forget his name. But he was in it and it was like I still remember the like I was tearing up, like I was crying. It was just a really good production or really good acting performance. That was still like I still sticks with me. So it's really cool to have that. You naturally like you can't really avoid it if your brother's going to be in a play. Like you're going to go see it or you're going to be exposed to that stuff. Um, do you have any interest in getting into acting now?
um, no, but I feel like I surround myself, to I think there's definitely my performative nature has always been more like in my previous jobs, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
in education, I tried to bring a lot of comedy or like
yeah.
character to that, even though it was myself, right? But
Yeah, well, it's funny. I think of you as a natural performer, even if it's not on stage. But like especially in that role as like an interpreter, you're talking to people about something. Like you're really engaging in that way, which is so different. That like I don't think I could ever actually act because I can't be another person. But I could like be myself in an engaging way. I think you're really good at that.
well, thank you. Yeah, I feel like um, that's my experience that I have. But yeah, I have no um, like talking about it, going seeing people perform, like all the
Hmm.
things, some of the things that I've seen with you. Admittedly, I could show up more, but with my brother too, I get nervous for you guys performing
Yeah,
on stage,
right.
and so I always enjoy it, but there's always that layer of like, why am I? They're the ones performing. They want to do it. It's not like you're forced out there.
Yeah,
But there's always a nervousness when I watch someone that I know. I have to kind of get it over. It's like kind of like stage fright, but I'm in the audience.
yeah.
Um,
Audience fright. I get that.
yes, exactly. Um, so that I mean, even being in the audience and being afraid, getting on stage,
Yeah.
um, would definitely be something to
It,
overcome if I ever felt. I wanted to.
Yeah, well, like the interesting thing about so for callback for the musical, I am like not performing at all. Well,
Oh,
a
nice.
tiny bit. I'm playing a little bit of guitar, but
No.
it's like it's that's kind of my preference would be to not, because I don't think I'd be able to act, but I can write. I like to write. That's like the main thing that which is funny because like when we were in I definitely had to do some acting, but that was never like my favorite part of it. It was always more like the collaboration, like hanging out and putting together like the story and that sort of thing, and like kind of doing, um, like figuring that stuff out was always really fun.
Yeah, of course. I would agree. It's almost like you're just hanging out with your friends,
Yeah,
um, with Destination Imagination.
yeah, it was really great. You also mentioned movies. I know that was a big part of like we would have a lot of sleepovers, watch a lot of movies, um, a lot of things recommended by Derek, or things that he would like to watch, some of which were good. Um, but I think that definitely shaped, like, I feel like my identity as someone who really loves movies, and that comes into like everything that I do creatively. And we watched a lot of great movies in your basement
We
on
did.
an old little TV. It was great.
Yeah, yeah. It was not a home theater by any stretch, but
Yeah.
did the job.
Yeah.
Definitely. I remember one of the first like birthday party sleepovers that you had when we were a lot younger. I think
Yeah.
that's the first time I watched the Beatles movies. I think you watched
Yes.
both of those. That's a
Yes.
fond memory. I feel like
Yeah.
I've watched them since, but
I don't know if they'd be
I
as,
just love it.
I mean, those are like the perfect movies for like sixth graders sleeping, having a sleepover. Like that, just so funny and so silly. Yeah,
Exactly.
those are fun. For some reason, I have like the movie that always comes to my mind when I think about like us having a sleepover is Gridlocked, which is the movie with Tupac and Tim Roth. I don't know why, but that movie is always like I always think of that movie, which I don't even
That's crazy.
remember. I don't remember the plot. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember that like we watched that movie.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's great.
It's yeah, but yeah, it's cool to see how like that stuff you do when you're a kid, it really has an impact on who you become.
It definitely does.
And sort of speaking of that too, I wanted to mention, as part of this series, I talked to Mr. Stewart, which was really fun.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so it was like really weird. See, like, it's just like being back in high school, same as ever. Um,
Yeah.
but that was a formative thing for sure. Do you remember anything about being in Mr. Stewart's class?
Yeah, good question. Because we were in it together, right?
I
Did we
think
always share time?
I think we at least one of the times, and it's I don't remember. I think we were in the same class, or we were in the same like I don't know if we were in the same section, like the same
Yeah.
period, but it was the
Okay.
same class, I think.
Yeah. Um, his English teacher, right? Grew a
Yes.
beard, continued. Okay.
Yes.
My
Yes.
paranoia
Yes.
was
Yes.
setting in that I couldn't remember him, but it was very memorable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, no, I mean it was great. I mean, I had him for creative writing too, I think.
Yeah. I think I remembered that. I thought I remembered
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Um, and I mean just very open. He was one of those teachers that you could laugh with, or
Yeah.
he would laugh at you or joking.
Yes.
There was
Yes.
one
Great.
moment where he threw, and I think about this often. It's how I want to retire or end a career. Were you? Maybe we were together. He had a expo marker, and
Hmm.
the whiteboard was behind him, and they had that little lip at the bottom of the whiteboard to catch. And he threw the marker behind him. It hit the ceiling and then landed in the trough
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
markers. And he just like put his hands up in victory and said he
Yeah.
was retiring,
Yeah.
which he didn't. But
No,
uh,
he's still there.
that
That's great.
that's awesome.
I don't remember if I was actually there for that, but I definitely remember hearing about it at least, because that, yeah, pretty iconic.
Core memory there.
I'm sure he
Uh,
did that like 100 times, and we only remember the time that it actually like worked.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and he would say, "Put your head down." In points, points were a big thing. He would give points that didn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
More often, subtract points that didn't
Ah,
matter.
yeah.
Um, he was
I
great.
remember, yeah, I remember a joke that was like about like
Oh,
gamer tag. He'd be like,
yes,
my gamer tag is I hate Mark 43 because I hate Mark 1, 2, 3, 4. Those were already taken. So I had to do, he would like name students in the
yes,
class.
yeah.
But
I
he had
told
a
that.
way of doing like he would make fun of you, but it would like be somehow so warm-hearted and like friendly that it was always in good fun.
Yeah, it was like you wanted to be made fun of. That meant
Yeah, yeah,
that he liked you. Not that I think
yeah,
he didn't like anyone, but
yeah,
um, I remember we made him. If you were part of it, he was going from senior teaching seniors to teaching like a step below or whatever
yeah.
level he was at.
Right.
And he had a podium, and he told us one story of um, the school he taught previously or whatever. His kids had made him a podium because that was a big thing too. He was always a not
Yeah,
always a, he wasn't restricted to a podium, but he used it for dramatic effect a lot.
yeah.
And we made him one.
Yes. I
Bad,
remember.
not a great quality, but we
Yeah,
did.
what? Yeah, I definitely remember that. I remember I was not part of the construction process. I remember you being part of that. But then
Mhm.
we all like signed it. I remember that.
Yeah, we snuck it. Our senior prank is not as memorable as other. Nothing I would write home about. But I think when we came in to do it, we brought the podium. So the next
Yeah.
day it was there, and then everyone. I remember throughout the day, everyone was just coming in and signing it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you remember what you wrote on it?
no, I have no idea what
That's
I wrote.
funny.
I might have just wrote my name. You wrote something
I
though.
did write something. Do you remember the movie Year One starring Michael Cera and
Yes,
We might have watched that in your basement,
we might
but
have.
in our class I would like I talked about that movie for some reason and he would just always say that's the worst movie. It's so bad. So I wrote like Year One is classic or something like I wrote something like that.
That's awesome. That's so
I
funny.
don't know if it was actually good at all or even funny. I don't know, but I think it's funny to think that it's a like to write that on a podium, I think.
Right. That if it still lives on or where for however long you had it.
Yeah.
Um that was there.
Yeah. I think about that 'cause I'm like I teach kids in a different way, not in a school, but just thinking about the impact. And sometimes you have an impact on people whether you're a teacher or even just a friend or whatever, and you don't even like recognize how important or significant it is until like years down the line. You're like, oh wait, like my identity is based on something that I learned in that class, or you know, like a big part
Yeah,
of who I am is from that time when I was a kid. So uh, it all sticks with you for sure.
definitely. The people and stories that make us for sure.
Yeah, and that's why kind of why I wanted to do this is like, obviously I could say, yeah, I wrote a musical. I started writing it in whatever this time, and that this is the process of it, coming to be. But really, that starts so much earlier than that. Like, when we were when we were doing DI, like I was that, started this journey, as part of that whole path. So, um, yeah,
It's awesome.
it's been formative and it's been fun. I think we
Good.
should do adult DI. That's what I think. I think we should
They
find
should do it.
they should
They
like
should.
for like 30-year-olds
Yeah,
to
that would be great. I mean, it would be great to step in that kind of carefree
Right.
attitude, like we said, like not be embarrassed. But
Yeah. Hard to do. Hard to do. Well, you know what? Actually, I think it should be adults who do the things and then kids are the judges. Like kids would be like judge
ah,
you. I think that would be good. Like
there you
flip
go.
the
Well,
well,
as kids, maybe we'll make something for our kids when
right.
they're older and they can actually.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great. Wait, when you think about so we're both parents.
Yes,
When you think about like what you want, would you like I don't know if DI still even exists,
I
but
think it
what do you
would.
I think it probably something like that probably exists. But what kind of like what would you want to pass down to Charlotte? What lessons that you've learned or what part like from DI or from stuff like that? Like what would you want to share? What would you want her experience to be like with that sort of thing?
That's a great question. Well, on the parent side of things, my mom. was a coach for a while, and then
Hmm.
she was like the district person. I still don't know
It's all kind
what
of
her
fuzzy.
jobs were really, but she took on a huge role in before our time with Carl, who coached
Hmm.
for a long time in DI. Um, it was my mom, and so I guess I take it away that I want to be involved in my kids' lives in any way that I can. I reflect on that a lot,
Yeah.
uh, just on the parent level. Um, but yeah, I hope she finds something, yeah, like that she can be carefree with and have
Yeah.
all those inside jokes. I mean, what a great way to like, as we think, we both have daughters, and so sports equate, they can do sports like we briefly did, or band would be another thing
Yeah.
that I could be like, oh, this is, she should do this, I had a great experience.
Hmm.
But something along the lines of destination imagination would be amazing for her to do, because just be that fearlessness and that, like, finding a group of friends.
Hmm.
Like I said, our time together was like all my core friends and family. And there was a lot of time put into it. So I'm rambling. I don't know if I have the exact words, but
I love it. I love it. I think it's so much of it is like not the specific thing that you're doing, but the spirit of it and the like community, the connection that you make with your fellow people. And it just like we were lucky. We were really lucky to have that. 'Cause well, band was great. Made a lot of friends with band and like that was cool. But sports, like I played baseball very briefly. I swam and I made some friends like that. But like nothing was really like DI where it's just like so much. You get so much time with people and you're doing something creative and like personal and fun. And it was a special thing to have that place to do that.
yeah, really collab. You know what I'm saying? Collaborative.
Yeah.
Um, and um, yeah, kind of our first taste of improv too, which there's so many skills that come with that. You're more deep than involved with improv now, but it's kind of interesting to think of it along the lines of improv.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's definitely a life skill to to have with a lot of those things. I don't know how useful some of the things are, but
yeah.
a lot of the things are useful. Oh
Well, we
yeah.
made a lot of stuff like there was like
Yeah.
construction, loose term, but like PVC pipe cutting things, using like power saw, type stuff that I think was really valuable too. Especially, um, our school didn't have like a trade or like um, a place like a wood shop or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so that I always have a hankering to build something that I don't necessarily need, and not necessarily skilled with, but because of DI, I feel like I have like a taste of, like, I'd love to build something
Hmm.
with my daughter, um,
Hmm.
because of DI, right? Because it's such a great
Yeah.
experience, and a great test of patience, I'm sure, on my side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, it was fun because you got to like do all that stuff, but this it was like lower stakes somehow than
mhm.
like, you know, feel like a real theatrical production. It's like a different like audience and a different set of standards and expectations and it was I do think like the competition aspect was always kind of a bummer when we lost. That was always a little bit sad,
Mhm.
but overall it was still like fun. It was fun to like try to be the best we could be and like, work really hard on something.
Yeah, definitely. I remember one of our competition one year did like sonnets, like they spoke in sonnets or like
Mm.
Shakespeare the entire time.
We should have done that. We would have been.
Yeah, right.
I don't think
Well,
we could have pulled that off.
sometimes you'd see some of these like competition and you'd wonder, like, maybe this is a tangent not to go on, but you'd wonder how much the parents were involved,
Yeah,
you know?
right. For sure.
Um
Yeah.
not to discredit any of them, but our parents were definitely involved. But
Hmm.
it all seemed like it came from us, right? Like we had
Yeah.
the ultimate say and stuff. So
Hmm.
not saying that that was to our detriment, but maybe it was as far as winning
Yeah. Yeah.
things. But
But we I think we got a lot out of it more than winning anything.
definitely,
It was fun. It was fun taking those trips to Dublin or wherever we went, like Ohio, not Dublin, Ireland. We went, it was, I think one of them was in Dublin, Ohio, right? One of
yeah,
the like things. That was cool.
Columbus, yeah.
Yeah.
A few years, it might have been prior, we went to Lorraine Community College.
Hmm.
Um,
I remember being there. I remember
yeah,
being there. Yeah.
that was a few years. I think one year it happened near the end. Was it at Chagrin?
I think that was after we graduated. I remember like
Oh, that's
going,
what it
it was
was.
like when we were in college or something. I remember going
Uh,
back and like seeing what it was, but not participating. But I think your mom was still like involved. I feel like I remember
yeah,
that.
a few years after, I think,
Yeah.
and then she passed it on to someone that actually worked at the school, I think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but we were at some high schools too for it. Yeah, performing was literally just look.
Just wherever
Uh,
you could find space. Just
yeah, and it was kind of a fun experience to just like explore like Loring Community College. It was like,
yeah, we would
wow,
just walk
this is a
around.
campus. This is yeah.
Like,
Um,
yeah. I felt like not grown up, but I felt like I was in a real place in a different way than like a high school. It just felt like, oh, this is where like 20-year-olds hang out, you know?
exactly.
It's kind of cool.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I think thank you so much for talking to me about DI and other cool stuff. Um, it was a big part of my life. You are still a big part of my life, and our family. I'm so glad we still get to be family friends now that we have families. It's the
Mhm.
best. Um, so anything else you want to share, thoughts, or anything you want to like promote or anything like that?
uh,
I don't know if
nothing
you
to
have.
promote. I love that though. It feels like the ending of Hot Ones. Tell them what you
Well,
got.
yeah, you gotta
Um,
give you the space to.
no, I appreciate it. It was a while back, but since you've complimented me so much, um, there was my manager always asks a question every like meeting we have, just like as an icebreaker, and one of them was, what's a quality you admire of your best friend or something like that. And I still, of course, count you as one of my best friends. And
Mhm.
it just brings me back. There was a time in high school where there was like I think, was it a talent show? I don't know. But you went up and sang
Yeah.
and performed as you do now,
Hmm.
maybe with more confidence now than back then. But you always stood out, as someone that wasn't afraid to be themselves. I don't know if you ever felt like you were growing up always that confident, but you always came off that confident. And I think the greatest compliment people can give is like they're true to who they are, right? And around the
Hmm.
environment, and that definitely is a quality I admire, and I think helped shaped my childhood too. Because I had this seemingly fearless guy figuring out life with me, but standing out um, along the way. So I appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much. I think I don't know. I was not actually fearless. I'm glad it came off that way.
Yeah.
You know, but I will say for my constant self-doubt and self-consciousness, I do think I I think I'm true to myself for better or worse. And like this musical especially is very much like tearing my guts out. Like it's very transparently about me and from me. So, um, come see it and you'll see that it's it's very unabashedly Joseph Maxwell musical.
I love it. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Really appreciate you taking the time. And I mean, we'll see each other again soon.
We will, definitely.
All right.
Yee yee.
Yee yee.
Time.